David served 17 years, David, in prison after being convicted of selling heroin to an undercover police officer. David is a product of East Palo Alto. Since then, he has been awarded the California Peace Prize. That was in 1995. You've been featured in a Bill Moyers documentary on National Public Television. David is the president and co-founder of Free at Last, which provides assistance to African-American men who are parolees, ex-offenders, who are afflicted with drug addiction. David, was Ms. Roddy a snitch? Now, you grew up in East Palo Alto in the 1960s and 70s. Anything different today about East Palo Alto than back in the day?
Yeah, it's a lot different. I think we have started to gel together in more of a community-minded people, even though that I was involved in a whole lot of crime in my heydays in the 60s and the 70s in East Palo Alto. When I got out of prison in 1989 and in 1990, when this incident happened with Miss Roddy, understanding that she was like a mother in our community, it did something to my heart, and it made me take a stand against all of the stuff. And you know, one of the things that I look at our young people, and when we talk about this whole, I like to call it a code of silence. I was watching the news last night and I saw Karl Rove, one of the leaders in our government, take a code aside and so he wouldn't snitch, you know what I mean? And our young people see that, and it's like in their organizations, in their way of living, it's like they're taking these codes of silence also. But I can say it is destroying our communities. I sat here and watched 3 community members, these folks out here, sit down and talk about the loved ones that they lost in this saga. So it's not snitching. We are a community. East Palo Alto is a community that we almost all kin each other. So you know, if you're coming forward to report something like this, to be able to, if it's not calling the police, to be able to call them people and tell them, it's like, this is what happened to your loved one. So that you can kind of like take a burden off, because most of the time it's like, okay, what happened? We don't know what happened. So it's not snitching. It's being able to be a true community member and to be able to help our community heal from this
But let's
plague.
all be realistic. Now, I throw this out to all of you. I mean, there is this thing called retaliation.
Correct.
Come forward, and if said you have to come forward, and maybe you have to be made known because maybe you have to go to court. There is so what do you say to the people who are like, they want to pick up that phone and make the call, they want to do it?